Hi, welcome to this episode, and today I am lifting the lid on the truths about reselling. I think it's a really important topic. It's something that kind of gets my goat a little bit. You see a lot of stuff online of all these resellers who are doing really well and everything's positive, and we never hear about the hard stuff. We never hear about the tough days, the actual realities behind what is going on, because you see these people finding something for £2 and flipping it for £45, selling it really quickly, then buying something for £20, flipping it for £200, and they make it look so easy. Believe me, it really isn't like that. And if you followed me from the start on my Instagram, I launched in 2024, in July 2024, and I started from the beginning on my Instagram saying, I am going to build this business from scratch and show you the realities. And on my stories, pretty much every day, I will go on there and talk about the ups and the downs and give you the truths, because it's not as simple as people make it look. And I think it's time we really dig into some of those things and address the realities. So it's not effortless, okay? Yes, there are moments when you will find something and flip it and make really good money, but that is not the norm. The norm is that there are days and days and hours of scouring and searching and hunting and sourcing and taking a risk on lots and lots of things, for it then to just maybe sit there for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and not even get a whiff of interest. Like, this is the truth. And until you start to really learn and understand and hone your craft and find your niche, that's pretty much how it's going to be at the start. But that's why we get hooked, because there are those moments when you find something and flip it and you do really well. I wouldn't be moving into this full time and giving up my coaching if I didn't believe that it's possible to make a fantastic income. But I just want to talk about those truths and address some of those things that we don't see on social media in all the gloss and all the glory and all the wonderful wins that everybody shows. We want to talk about now the actual hard realities of what is going on in reselling. So number one is the emotional roller coaster. It's a real up and down kind of job, if you like, to have. You are going to have days when you make those big sales, but there are going to be so many days when you face disappointments. There'll be days with no sales. There'll be days when the Facebook Marketplace buyer doesn't show up. There'll be days when you're paying out money for extras like listing tools or packaging, things that are going to make life easier for you, like label printers, all of that stuff. You see this money going out and you're not necessarily seeing a return. You might be losing money on shipping fees, on refund losses, on lost parcels, all of that kind of stuff. It's a genuine thing that you will face as a reseller. And I think it's important to understand that those things are part of the territory, and it's how we deal with it that is important. So I believe that whenever we hit a wall with one of those types of situations, it's all part of learning. The days you get no sales, then you need to spend time working on your listings, working on your titles, looking at your photographs, looking at the market. Is it saturated? Have you overpriced it? Actually, is it underpriced? Because that can also be a thing. It can put people off if it's too cheap. Is it the fact that the Facebook Marketplace buyer hasn't turned up because you haven't forged a communicative relationship with them over messages before they've made that decision to come? Sometimes you'll get buyers on Marketplace who will say, yeah, I'll come. And then you go, okay, here's my address. And then you ghost them. Like, for me, I message, I keep contact, I build relationships with those people. Oh, it's great. I'm glad you're interested in this. Are you still coming? I will send those follow-up messages and make sure that those buyers are going to convert. The times when you're spending out on packaging, the stuff that you need to make things easier, that's a trade-off. Do you need to buy certain types of boxes for certain types of products? Do you need that label printer? Because ultimately it's going to save you hours and hours of time and a lot of money on ink cartridges by investing in that early. So these trade-offs are things that you really need to think about. But it is absolutely normal to experience these roller coaster days. And the way I see it, having worked in high schools for 20 years, every day was a roller coaster. We never knew what we were going to face in a school. So for me, I thrive on that buzz. I thrive on that dopamine hit. I thrive on the challenges, if you like. But if you don't and you find that to be a real struggle, then it's something that you want to seriously think about. How are you going to deal with situations like that when they crop up. Now, I do have a Facebook group called Pre-Loved and Profitable. I'll put the link in the description. In that group, you can network and meet with other resellers. You can ask questions, you can learn, you can get tips and advice to help you deal with those ups and downs, because it can be a really lonely job. And that's something else that people don't really talk about. So if you feel that you want some support, bob over to the Facebook group, you'd be more than welcome. I do go live in there occasionally, and there are lots of opportunities for you to meet other sellers and ask questions. Okay, number 2, the thing that nobody really talks about is the investment. You start off reselling, take all the good advice, and you're selling your own things and it's going really, really well. When you're enjoying it, you then maybe find, actually, I would love to start sourcing, buying things to sell. At that point, you do need to register as a sole trader. This is business, this is commercial selling. On Vinted and eBay, you will look to consider moving to Vinted Pro and opening an eBay shop. You've got lots of considerations, but that investment is a bit that we don't really talk about. So you may find that suddenly you're outsourcing, spending money at car boot sales and charity shops and flea markets and at auctions and on Facebook Marketplace, wherever you're sourcing your stock. You find that you're suddenly spending loads and loads of money and you're not actually selling and converting that back into cash and converting that back into profit, right? That is the name of the game. And because people make it look so easy, I know there are resellers out there who have fallen into this trap. They have sourced too much stock, they are stuck with it, and they're not turning it over quickly enough. And it's something that we just don't talk about. You might also be paying out some monthly subscriptions for things. Maybe you've signed up for cross-listing software. Maybe you've signed up for Canva Pro. Maybe you've taken on expenses and you're not covering those. You don't actually have a business if you're just buying and you're not selling. So the thing is, it's about how do we turn that stock into cash and get that money flowing back into your business when we're just seeing all the time these people selling. And I think the key is to diversify your sales. Don't just rely on eBay or Vinted, Facebook Marketplace. Look to turn stock over in other places as well. So look to sell at car boot sales, look to sell at vintage fairs, look to sell at auction. Bundle boxes of things up together and get them sold on Marketplace. It's about being savvy and knowing when, if you've had something listed for 3 months or 6 months and it just hasn't sold, and you've been delisting and relisting and tweaking and trying all of the tricks, you're still stuck with it, cut your losses and get rid. We have done 2 really successful car boot sales this season. We literally went through all our inventory after the January sale and we were like, right, what's staying, what's going? We boxed stuff up and we went out and we got cash back into the business fast for some of those purchases that we'd made that were mistakes, that things that actually, no, that was my taste, it's not what the market is demanding at the moment. Those things went out the door and money came back into the business. So be really mindful if you're reselling that when things don't sell, it is okay to cut your losses and just get rid of stuff cheaply. Again, the stuff that people aren't really talking about but does need to be brought to everybody's attention. Trap number 3. Number 3 is really important. This is the time reality. Okay, this is so real. Nobody really talks about the time that it takes to do this. Now, I have been reselling for the last 12 months alongside running another business. I did not have time to go every day to charity shops. I did not have time to go every weekend to car boot sales. I've also been home educating my daughter through her GCSEs. We have got family commitments. Our mums are both on their own. There's stuff like life, right? You've got this as well. You were probably doing this little side hustle alongside something else. And I'm watching other resellers being able to do this day in, day out gives you a massive sense of FOMO. The reality is that car boot sales mean getting up at 5, 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning and getting out there. Auctions often run over really late. They don't always finish on time. All of the items that you buy, if you're selling homewares and clothing, really need cleaning, washing, prepping, checking, mending. All of this takes time. Then you've got the listing time, the photography time, the stuff that you don't really think about when you see the attractiveness of, oh, this person's making loads of money reselling. And so factoring into where you're packaging, how you're packaging up, how time efficient is your packaging. Literally, before you know it, you're doing all of this stuff and you're not even making minimum wage. And I've talked about this many, many times in my other videos, so do have a look. But actually trying to find where you can save time is super important. So for me, I do use a cross-listing tool, for example. I have chosen to spend £24 a month on a program that saves me hours and hours of time. I have streamlined my packaging systems. I've got places that you can package up in the house that are protected. I'm not going to have to clean up the kitchen first. I've got a little unit to one side, all my stuff is in there. I have systems in place to organise my inventory. I have systems in place to make sure I don't run out of packaging. I've got contacts. I mean, I've spoken on Instagram about my hairdresser's dad who delivers boxes to me. I mean, he's phenomenal. He works in an engineering company. He gets millions of boxes at the end of every day, puts them in his car and drops them off outside my house. This saves me so much time where I used to be going out to shops and asking for their boxes. You need to try and work smarter, not harder, because time is a real issue and it's something that people on Instagram aren't necessarily showing all of the time. Nobody really talks about number 4, the difficult people. Like, this is a thing. Now, the way I see it, in every job I've ever had, I have come across difficult people. So that might have been students in my classrooms or situations in school with staff where there was confrontation amongst members of staff and I would be having to work with them and help resolve issues. I've seen confrontational situations in my coaching business where people have come to me that have had issues with previous coaches and I've had to unpick those things and undoing a lot of damage with people, and that takes a lot of time. There's always going to be issues when you are dealing with people, and I don't think resellers talk enough about this. So you will get the lowball offers, you will get the crazy messages, you'll get people's sob stories and life stories and reasons why they want something more cheap. You'll get really crazy reasons why people want to send something back. I've had parcels go missing. I've got the photograph to prove that it's been delivered, but the buyer still claims they haven't received it. I've had buyers send me photographs claiming that I have sent them an empty box with nothing in it. All of these things that crop up are draining. They are hard work. You might need to go through lost parcel cases. People get sniffy with you when that happens, but you're dealing with these situations because they've got an emotional attachment to what they've bought and they want that item. You have no control often over the parcel situations, the delivery situations, all of that stuff. So you've got to learn really quickly how to be a really good manager of people and how you can support and help. Now, my approach is always to be really kind to people, to be as supportive and understanding as possible, even if I don't necessarily agree with the situation, because I would rather take a hit and move on and list and sell and keep going, unless it's a super expensive product and you don't want to risk obviously losing a lot of money over something. But if it's something I've bought for £2, £3, £4 and I was maybe going to make 30, 40 quid on it, I've actually only lost the £2, £3 or £4 in real terms. And I'm not going to put loads of time and energy into something. I will be as nice as I can with a buyer who has an issue and try and resolve it as quickly as possible. I don't want poor reviews. I don't want bad relations. I don't want a sour taste in my mouth. And frankly, I don't have the energy for that stuff. And I think if you can get the mindset where, well, look, if I was going to a 9-to-5 job every day, I would be having situations with people because it's normal in every workplace, then therefore I can deal with a situation with somebody online that I don't even know and I don't have to face. To me, that's easy. That's actually a simple thing. Just be as nice as you can, deal with it and move on. I don't believe in getting into tit-for-tat arguments on messaging apps on these selling platforms. I think customers come first. Customer service is everything, and your good reviews are everything if you're going to build a healthy, long-term business. And so you might be asking now, why on earth do you do it, Jill? Well, the honest answer is because to me it's absolute magic. Like, I love reselling. To me, it is the dream job. I am a pure dopamine seeker. I need variety. I need to wake up in the morning and not know what today is going to bring me. I have been a classroom teacher for 20 years, and if you've ever worked in a high school, you'll know exactly what I mean. Every day is different. It is so unpredictable. That gives me a thrill. When I went into coaching in my own business for the last decade, a lot of what I did was kind of predictable actually, and I lost a lot of the thrill, the dopamine, the variety, the difference. And so I added new strands to my business. I did holistic therapist for a while and nutritional work, and I would go out and do face-to-face workshops and try and mix it up and make my day different. This reselling to me hits all of the spots. I can go shopping, sourcing, use my creative thinking, find new ways, look for things, save things from landfill. Be sustainable. I care about the planet. I want this planet to be in good shape for future generations, and there's so much waste. There's nothing nicer than saving people's old stuff at car boot sales and being able to breathe new life into it, clean it up, fix it, stage it, get creative with photography and sell it on to somebody then who really will cherish and value it. People who buy from us are often people who don't have the time to go to those car boot sales, but they also love to save things. They want to protect the history. They want to find beautiful antiques for their homes and beautiful pieces of vintage. They care too about the planet. So in that regard, I love providing this service, knowing that something that you have saved, found, sourced, lovingly brought back to life has found a new home. It also fits absolutely with my energy and my moods. I'm 53 and full surgical menopause. I am there. It is hard work. Some days I'm tired. Some days I just don't feel like it. I don't want to show up on Instagram. I don't want to make a YouTube. I don't particularly want to go out sourcing, but I'm quite happy pottering around at home, cleaning up some products, taking photographs, staging things, tweaking listings, writing listings. Those types of days are perfect for me. I can stay in bed longer, I can go to bed later. It doesn't matter. I am not tied to anybody or anything when I am running this business. The only commitment I have is when I sell something, I have to get it packaged up and sent out on time. I like to get my parcels out the next day if possible. So if that's all I've got to do in terms of a commitment, then that's perfect for me. I really, really love that. I commit to trying to do this YouTube once a week, and I manage that. I can do that on the days when I know I've got free space, when I've got headspace, when the family are out, when stuff is planned that they're busy. I enjoy in my free time doing this. It brings variety to the day. So reselling for me gives me just something. It feels like I am making a difference. I am helping the planet, but I am also feeding my kids, paying my daughter's university rent. I am making a living, and that matters too. I am not sitting around using my health condition and my health complaint as an excuse to not being able to work. I have built businesses since I had to quit teaching with my heart attack. I have built businesses that fit in and allow me to spend time with my family and look after my health, and I'm really proud of that. And there's nothing better than receiving a customer photograph of something they've put in their own home that they love. They tag you on Instagram and they show you, and they're so happy with what they've bought from you. That is a real buzz for me. So yeah, that is why I do it. So I think the important thing is definitely go in with your eyes wide open, enjoy the journey, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Be aware that these things that people don't really talk about happen, that you're not alone. Don't expect it to be easy. You have to be consistent, you have to keep going. It does give you freedom, it gives you a lot of space to be creative, and it gives you a business that feels like an extension of you, because you can take this down any route that you feel like. You can go down a route that feels comfortable, feels exciting, feels interesting to you. My brother loves to sell sports and pop memorabilia. Sports memorabilia does not interest me at all, but that's an extension of him and that's what he enjoys. I love the home decor and the accessories. Even if I try to sell the clothes, I come back to what I love because I love property. We've done up a lot of properties in our time. It's something that resonates and sits with me. My husband really enjoys the unusual finds. He's into researching watches and Roman coins and model airplanes and random collectible stuff. I think when he comes into this business, will be doing more of that side of things, and we will probably operate as two sole traders. So, you know, we're going to play it by ear, see how things pan out, but it really is very exciting, and it's worth every hard truth that I've given you today, every reality. So wishing you loads of luck with your reselling journey. If you have any questions, fire away. I'm trying really hard to do YouTube episodes on all of the things that people are raising. I do the lives in my Facebook group, as I've already mentioned, so you're more than welcome to pop into there and join us there. And definitely have a look as well at my Substack, because Substack is going to be a place where I can go a bit deeper. You can subscribe and get my articles and newsletters and things from there. So yeah, there's loads and loads of ways that you can get support and never feel like you're on your own. And thanks so much for watching. So do not forget to like and subscribe. It makes me so happy that people are watching this. I really enjoy sharing my journey and teaching. I don't profess to know everything. I just talk about what I'm doing, and I'm always open to suggestions for new episodes. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.